Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the CMG, Chtr, Tesla, Nvda, IBB, and Ulta. Let's get right into the charts. We follow the daily, the weekly, the monthly time frame, and we use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. So let's look at CMG. We're on the daily. We had 6 days up into resistance. This breakdown bar, 618. Now we're in a bearish consolidation. We only have 2 days on this, so I want to see more. Tomorrow is a wild card, the jobs report. Do we sell off? Or do we grind up on no volume? Last one was very uneventful, but on the SPY, they did consolidate for a month. They popped it up, consolidating, so maybe this is their way to keep the market going up. Every month at the jobs report, if it's good, they'll just pop it up a little bit more and then keep it above. But right now, this thing's consolidating sideways. If on the jobs report we catch a bid, I believe we can get back into the 750, this high pivot, and then we have to get through that and then continue on. If it does not make it through here, I think we're heading straight down. If we sell off tomorrow, you're looking for a close below the MAs, then I think we're back on the double bottom. Tomorrow is a wild card, so, and even if it's good, it will be bad, or even if it's good, it will be good. Even if it's bad, it will be good. It's the same old crap by Janet Yellen and her crew, and the central bankers with their free money policy. It's just sad, actually. But let's get back to CMG. Weekly chart. Pushed it up to the 20 MA. We came below. We're still below the 20 MA on the weekly. This chart will close tomorrow. So depending on what happens with the jobs report, will we close above or below? Tomorrow's going to tell the story with a lot of these. So, but right now we're below, slightly bearish, and this thing's just been chopping around. We have a nice bearish pattern at the lows here. This one too. So it's a big bearish into another bearish, but they're trying to get it above the 20 MA, and we'll see tomorrow. Monthly chart though, ugly. This thing curling down. This 50 MA will start to curl down. This thing can't even get out of its own way. They keep popping it up, unless they get news or something. But let's see what happens tomorrow, and then we'll reevaluate everything on Friday's video. Let's get into Chtr. This one, my head's popping off. Do not chase this one. This one is going up on news. That's the only thing. I think this one had earnings, and when they acquired Time Warner, it's the same crap. This had a real good bear or bullish pattern. I mean, they tried to break it out. We never got above the inside bar. Then they broke down, so it was slightly bearish, but overall, it's macro bullish. We hit the 20 MA. They popped it. Then the news came out, or something. I think somebody upgraded them, as well as they're going to the S&P. Like that means anything. Just remember Baba. When that went into the emerging markets, it rallied, and then they took it to the hole. So don't believe it. It's going. That's the only way they're getting stocks up. Buybacks, news, and let's change the exchange and put it on the S&P. And people will enjoy that. So this one here, we did take a short position just as a couple-day trade. We're actually, I think we're slightly in the money, maybe 50 cents or so. I would have to look. It's been a long day, guys. So let's look at the weekly. Weekly, same thing, but we're getting stretched. And then the monthly on this one, monthly is stretched from here. It's going to come down. It might have a little more to go. I mean, ultimately, maybe 276.04, maybe. But it wasn't too far away from 272.81 was the high today. It was a couple bucks away. But that's what I have penciled in, around 276 if it gets there. Guys, I just don't, we're going to go over Nvda, and I'll show you Dollar General too if we have time. But it just cannot stay away from the 20. Look, it gets away from the 20, then it comes back, then it popped up. But you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months up. Now, it's time for this thing to come back in, and that's the bottom line. So don't get sucked in, and don't be a bag holder up here, because when it comes in, it's going to take a long time to get up here. But we did write calls up here too as well. We're going to play the premium and just let them bleed. They're already starting to bleed, to be perfectly honest with you. Let's see. Let's go to Tesla. Yeah, that was a fun one today, huh? Crap blowing up. Cars on fire. Now we have rockets on fire. So we talked about this one for a while. And if everyone follow, you could go back to my video 6, 7 days ago or 8 days ago. This is a bearish pattern. If it doesn't get above the 20, it has a great chance of moving down. We're watching for it to get below the 50 and the 200, and it did. Then it confirmed. We hit this little pivot. We talked about that yesterday. It bounced, and we talked about, this thing could bounce here. But then the rocket blew up, and so did this one. We did fill the gap. There is another gap down in here around 198.66. If we fill that, this thing could possibly bounce. And you know what? Let me stick a fib down in here. Let's see where we're at. I think I have one on the bigger time frame, but let's stick it on this one as well. So we're going to take a fib from this low to this high in here. Yeah, we're coming. Yeah, so this isn't a bad area, around the 200 even number. Didn't make it today, 2050. We were short this. We covered our last half at I think 254 or something like that. Right in that area, because we actually held up half of the half and let a quarter position run, and I'm glad we did that. And we covered it down. I wanted to see gap fill, and this one filled, and it did. So this thing could possibly bounce weekly. Yeah, there you go. We have the bigger time frame here. We're in the 750 retrace around 267 cents. This one can bounce. If this doesn't bounce, we're going to watch for setup on the daily, and we're going to watch for sideways action on the weekly. Then I'm thinking 188.54. Then ultimately, if the markets are dumping, we're going right in this range around 150. Pretty bold call, but that's what's going to happen if this thing starts breaking down. And now on the monthly, we are below this trend line, but we're coming into the 618 around 200 bucks, 198 to 200. So we'll see how this thing reacts. If the markets catch a bid tomorrow, this one could possibly bounce. If the markets dump, this thing's going hard. And you even have the 50 MA on the monthly at 180. So you have a real good chance of getting to the 180, 190 area. You know, this little pivot here, 187.37. We're going to take it day by day. If the markets dump, this is going to continue. This was due, let me tell you. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 bars down into pretty good resistance. We'll see if we get follow through, or we'll see if we bounce and they try to recapture this trend line here. That's Tesla. We were short that one. That was epic. Nvda, gosh, this one's just bear. Just a bear. I think they were upgraded. They're probably doing a stock buyback. It's just ridiculous. But overall, you did have a bullish pattern going into the 20 MA. But of course, right when it hits the 20 MA, you get an upgrade. It's almost ridiculous. It's almost like, all right, it's about there. Let's upgrade it so we get a little better push on it. Volume wasn't bad today, 10 million. It did pick up, but I'm still suspect with this one. And the reason why, weekly, extended. Come on, had great earnings, and now we're just chopping around in a bullish manner. With someone's in here holding this thing up, and you know what? We wrote options on this one too, and they're bleeding nice. So you know what? Keep going sideways, and eventually it will go down. Sorry, everyone. I'm losing my voice. I'm getting all excited here. But yeah, we wrote some options. This thing's chopping around. They are coming in. Not as much as I'd like them to do, but they are. So I'll take every little bit I can get on this one. In the monthly chart, sorry guys, my voice is going. Had to get some water. But the monthly chart, just ridiculous. You got the 20 MA at 34 bucks, and you got this thing at 63, 64. Are you kidding me right now? This one is stretched to the moon. It will come in, and when it does, it's going to be ugly. I'm going to switch over to Dollar General for all you didn't see that one. Look at this ugly chart. 5 months wiped out in one day. That's what's going to happen to Nvda. I promise you. It always does. Charts cannot get extended from the 20 MA. We play these all the time. And then we're into the 62.37 resistance area. It's almost time for this one. And when it does, like I said, staircase up, elevator down, just like DG. All right, let's get into IBB. This one's been working out very well for us as well. Came right into the 200, chopping around. Now we're starting to fall, but we're looking at the jobs report tomorrow. So, again, anything can happen. But at this point on the daily, we are holding the 50 MA. We are below the 200, and this one's starting to curl down. So I'd still like to see some more sideways consolidation, and this one coming into price. Then I think we could drop lower. If they recapture the 200 and get it above the 20 moving average, then it could possibly go for the inside bar up here, possibly the 300 area again. Tomorrow is still a wild card, so not much to do on these, but technically it is looking weak. The volume's disappearing, so they're trying to hold it, and today they actually held it above the 50 MA. Weekly, got to see where this thing closes tomorrow. If you're bearish, you want to see it close below this low, like around 178.85 or so, whatever the low of this candle, that's what you want to see it close. And if it continues, you want to see it even get below the 20 MA here. That would be even more epic. But right now it's weak. It's kind of slipping. It needs to get above the 50 MA to continue to the upside to the 300 number. Like I said, if it doesn't, it's going to hit this, then boom, and then I think we're going right back to double bottom. It's going to get ugly. We talk about this pattern. The same thing here. We shorted this one here. Say you got to short this thing. You just have to. I'm sorry. But let's see what happens tomorrow. Again, the wild card. When they get these big news days, the CNBC is going to hype this thing up. So everybody, come on, hurry up. Everything's good up here. But yeah, this is an epic bearish pattern. 7 months sideways. We'll see what this bar is. If we start reversing, we engulf this candle and get back to the lows at around 250 or so, we are on to the downside. You got to match everything up. It will be a market trade with the SPY, the Qs. If those are dumping, it's over. Everything's dumping. You mark my words. That's why I call a market trade. When the SPY and all those start dumping, everything dumps. Unless they have earnings and stuff and they're holding up. But if the markets keep dumping, eventually earnings doesn't matter. They will dump as well. Let's get into Ulta. This one's still falling. Incredible. But again, let's talk about the monthly right off the bat. High flyer. Nice, almost engulfing reversal candle. This one will be coming in. That's all I've been saying on Ulta. Don't chase it. Don't chase it. I'm buying up here. It's going to be great. You know what? And it's still coming down. We are at the 750 or the 250 retrace at 246.28. Actually, we closed below it today. But this is a monthly chart, so it really doesn't matter. But what we're looking for, I think, if this thing continues to sell, we're going to go to 228. Here, let me go to the daily. We're going to go to 228.55, and that's actually a 382 retrace. So that should be a pretty good window for a small bounce or to buy a call for a couple days. But again, setting up. We got below the 50 MA. We confirmed it's going sideways. We're below the 618, and it needs to get above the 247.82, and then maybe, if this thing retraces like I talked about in my last couple of videos, I'll be shorting this thing again up in here, up in this inside bar. And use this as a stop bar. You can use the all-time high. If you short it up here, go half size. If it gets up here, add the rest. Use this as a stop out with confirmation. If this continues sideways and slowly retraces, I think it's setting up to go lower. But on the weekly, we are getting close to the 20 MA, which is roughly around 240. So that will be some good support too. Then you had consolidation in here, which is good support. If the markets start dumping, I'm thinking right here, 232 or so. And then again, the 228.79, the gap window, you know, where this thing gapped up and started going sideways. There'll be some good support in here. But ultimately, this thing wants to be a $200 stock. So if you are long, protect that stop. And I would wait for lower prices. I would wait to add maybe at 228, maybe, but you're better off at 200 because these markets are due to dump at any time. Monthly, same thing, just a stretch job. It's got to come back home, and the 200 MA is at 187.26. So that will be some sort of a sell if it gets down to there. Like I said, everything's a market trade. If the markets start dumping, this will start dumping as well. So I think that's it for today, guys. I'm done. I'm spent. It's been a long day, and had a couple good trades today. We covered USO, half of that. What else did we do? I don't even know. We covered some other trade too, I believe. Oh, deer. We covered deer. That was a good one. We shorted right around 87.50, right in that area. I don't have the exact number, and it went to 83.55. We sold half. We have a break even in, and hopefully that will go lower with the markets. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching my videos. Hopefully I'm helping some of you people out there. And if you have any questions or comments, please send them at stockbookie@gmail.com. Thanks again for watching. God bless. See you on the charts.